Hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use conditional formatting to format cells based on the value of another cell. So you're going to go from this to this. All right, let's get started. On the left, I have the table that I would like to format based on the value of another cell. In order to do that, I'm going to use a formula under the conditional formatting feature of Excel. But before I actually get into that, what I would like to do is just demonstrate why the formula we're going to use works. So I'm going to just enter select Japan equals and put that between quotations, and we get a value of true. If I copy this down, Excel will update based on that formula. So if I go down to F14, we can see it returned true again. And what Excel has been doing is I started with B5, and then if I go down a row, we have B6 and B7 and so on. Assuming that we were using our conditional formatting clause, Japan would become green in cell B4, and Japan would become green again in cell B14. But if I copy this over, Excel is using a relative reference. So that means that we went from B5 to C5 to D5. So these values are coming back as false. So let's just go ahead and delete all this. Now, what if I were to type this same formula but use an absolute reference? So I'm going to put a $ in front of the column. So let me just try that out. So we're going to type equals, and we're going to put a $ in front of the column and hit enter. So now if I drag this out and paste it, we're getting true values all the way across. Right? And that's because we're still looking at this one cell, Japan, B5, across the whole range. And we're going to copy that down. All right, so now that I've demonstrated why this works, let's go and actually enter this into a formula using conditional formatting. So we'll start by selecting our range. Then we'll go into conditional formatting, select new rule. Under the style dropdown, we'll select classic, and then on the following dropdown, we will select use a formula. If you're using Windows, as soon as you click on new rule, you'll see the option to use a formula. So let's just repeat that same formula we did previously. So we'll do equals B5 equals Japan. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it added an absolute reference in front of the row. So this will actually turn the whole table green because every cell will be looking only at cell B5. So we want the row to be dynamic as we go down. I'm just going to remove the $ from in front of the row, so in front of the number 5. So now only the column will be static, but the rows will be dynamic. And I'm going to change the color to green and hit OK. And there we have it. What if we want to add China to the conditional formatting as well? So it can equal Japan or China. That's not a problem. All we need to do is go back into conditional formatting, manage rules. We're going to edit that same rule that we just created, and we're going to nestle this formula into the OR function. So let me just go and do that. We're going to type in OR. So now we have B5 can equal China, or B5, and I'm just going to remember to remove that absolute reference in front of the row, equals China. Hit OK, confirm, and now you can see we have Japan or China. If we want multiple criteria to be true, we can do that as well by putting the formula between the AND function. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll update it so that this time the country will be Japan and the population must be greater than 20 million. So let's go back into conditional formatting, manage our rules. Let's edit our rule, and let's replace this formula with a formula that is nestled into the AND function. So our first criteria is B5 equals Japan, and our next criteria is that C5 is greater than 20 million. I'm going to hit enter and enter, and there we go, the table updated. We now have only one row highlighted. Hey, I hope I was able to help you out with this video. If you like this, then please give me a thumbs up and maybe even consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.